You've had headaches before, but somehow it feels different. It appears to be more intense, more frequent, and even more disabling. And you know what? The worst part is no one seems to believe you. So let me tell you a story. Hello, I'm Gospel Eadweardfilia, and for over a decade, I have been supporting and guiding women, hundreds of women that live with chronic pain. I help them to get relief from pain and turn their pain into purpose. And you will learn step, the first step you must take to stop feeling confused and wasting your time doing all the Google research, wondering what is going on, and you would live with a tangible step to take to get you to a place where you start having relief. So I mentioned I was going to tell you a story. So here we go with that story. I will tell you this story and I'll change their names. So let's call this lady Emma. Emma woke up. Emma woke up to sunlight pouring into her window, just like it is right now today. But her head felt heavy. It felt like someone had poured concrete inside her skull and sealed it shut. She reached out for paracetamol, the one that she keeps on her bedside table, and she swallowed and waited and waited. And nothing happened. An hour later, nothing. She made it to work, barely getting there, only to find herself blinking at her screen, the letters dancing, the office lights stabbing her eyes. By lunchtime, she had vomited twice in the bathroom. And still, someone told her, maybe Emma, you just need to drink more water. Oh, take a walk. You'll be fine. I normally just have a paracetamol and I'm fine. Guess what? She wasn't. She wasn't fine at all. The next day, Emma, as many of us do, started searching on the interweb, typing her symptoms: pain on one side of the head, stabbing pain on one side of my eyes, nausea, light sensitivity, noise sensitivity, headache behind my eyes. It gets worse when I move. Click, 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 click. She was typing away, trying to find what she can do to get this pain to stop. Every page seemed to scream the same thing. This is a migraine. This is a migraine. This is a migraine. This is a migraine. That was the interweb telling her this could be a migraine or this could be a headache. It could be a tension headache. This could be a migraine. This could be a cluster headache. No one had diagnosed her. For years, she's been living like this. And even though she knows the symptoms and everything else, she kept doing her research, trying to figure it out, but they kept giving her different answers. And she didn't even bother to try to get GP appointment because you all know, I see it in your faces when you come. I will say, go to the GP, and you're like, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, to get an appointment with a GP, that would be like 3 years. or 3 weeks or 3 months later. I know how that feels. I hear you all tell me this, and I feel for you. And that's why Emma was there doing her Google research, trying to find out why she kept having these symptoms. You might be in the middle of the same thing right now, trying to figure out what is going on. Emma went to the pharmacy and got some stronger pain medication, an over-the-counter medication. She took it. Just as she was told to take it, it did not help. Emma began to doubt herself. Maybe you are also in the same position. You're confused, you're doubting yourself and wondering what is going on, what are you doing wrong? Maybe it's me. Maybe all this pain is all in my head. Maybe even I'm overreacting. Maybe I should just push through. That work colleague, she might be right. Maybe I should just push through. But the attack keeps coming, and even it appears to be even more intense. And you've taken so much days off work already. People are beginning to wonder, do you actually work here? And you're hearing the rumors. Oh, she's just lazy. She's always saying she's got a headache. But you know better. You know that this cannot just be a headache. You've tried everything and you're getting too confused that it is just affecting your mental health. You're losing money when you don't go to work, especially if you work for yourself or if you're on a 0-hour contract. You don't work, you don't get paid, and the bills are piling. The symptoms that you have described, I have described here, and that you're going through: pounding, banging, throbbing, pulsating pain on one side, and maybe sometimes it's even in both sides. One side, you're having light sensitivity, noise sensitivity, you're throwing up. That is a sign of a migraine. And migraine is not just a headache. When your work colleague tell you that, oh, it's just a headache, take paracetamol, you'll be fine, or just take a triptan, you'll be fine. They think what they are saying is helpful, but FYI, it's not. You know this, I know this, and I'm telling you, migraine is not just a headache. What is migraine then? Migraine is a neurological condition, and it affects 1 in 7 people in the world. The sad bit is that more than 50% of people don't get diagnosed. They don't get accurate diagnosis of migraine. And because many people seem to think that because it's a head pain, it's headache. But it is a neurological condition. It is a system problem. Millions of people like you, like Emma, are living every single day, many of them in pain. They're living confused, wondering why the medication is not working, wondering why all the 5,000 things that they've tried or they are trying is not working. They are confused about what is going on. Why does this keep coming back over and over and over and over again? You know what Emma did that started to change the tide for her? When she found the words to describe her pain, she took something powerful in her hands. You see, she became aware of what she was going through. She knew that this is a neurological condition, a nervous system problem, a system issue. And one thing, this actually reminds me of a Bible verse. Hosea 4 verse 6. Hosea 4 verse 6 says, my people perish. Some verses will say, my people are destroyed. Hosea 4:6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also reject you as my priest. Because you have ignored the law of your God, I will also ignore your children. Now, the part that I want you to focus on is part A. Part A of that verse, which is, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. If we go to the Strong Concordance and we look at destroyed, what that actually means: perish, cut off, cease, cause to cease. My people are cut off. My people are undone because of lack of knowledge. My people fail because of lack of knowledge. My people are utterly destroyed, are utterly brought to silence because of lack of knowledge. And you might be thinking to yourself, God is saying, my people are cut off because of lack. So lack is without. My people are cut off because they are without knowledge. They are without knowledge. What is knowledge? They are without perception. They are without scale. They are without discernment, understanding, without wisdom. It's right here. So if we put that all together, check this out. My people are cut off. My people are cut off because they cease to have, because they are without. My people are destroyed because they are without skill. They are without understanding. They are without wisdom. That's why you're confused. You're confused because you do not have the skill. You ceased to understand what is going on in your body, especially your head. Emma got to this realization and she became aware of what was going on in her head. And this is why she now, when she became aware, because this is the first phase that you become aware of your head and everything that is going on in your head, that makes you now understand why you're having the headache. Because if you keep popping the pills when the headache comes without finding out why is this headache coming, the cycle will just carry on. I said to you, migraine is a neurological system issue. You want to know the system that is going on in your head. You want to understand and be skilled at knowing what the functionality, what is actually going on there in your head. Understanding the system that is causing your head to hurt, having that awareness, that skill, will help you to know how to treat, and that is possible. Let's read that together and let's see what we uncover from this verse. John 8:32 says, and ye shall know the truth. You will know the truth, and guess what? The truth will set you free. You will know the truth. breaking it down, truth. So looking at the strong concordance, which I encourage you to do because it just brings things to life. You will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. The strong concordance says, what is true in any matter under consideration? Truly, according to truth, in truth. What is true in things appertaining to God and the duty of man, moral and religious truth? Truth, truthfully, truth. Basically, you could say you will know what is true. You would know what is in reality, what is in fact, what is in certainty. Your nervous system is right there, certainty. All the things working there is a certain fact. You would know that fact about your nervous system. Because it also, when I'm reading it more of the definition, it also says, being free from falsehood, being free from deceit, that's truth. So you would know something that is free from falsehood, free from deceit. You will know something that is certain, that is fact. You would know something that is in reality, and that, okay, so, and that certainty or that thing that is free from falsehood or deceit shall make you free. So you will know about what is going on in your head, in your nervous system, with your whole body. You will know the fact and that information is going to set you free. And that is why awareness is always the first step. Become aware. Know the root cause of your headache or whatever obstacle you find yourself in. Know the reality of it, because that is going to set you free. Emma started tracking her symptoms. There are various steps that she went through. She began to notice patterns. And she discovered that sinus headaches, because sometimes she was getting these headaches and it was around her sinuses, and she was thinking it was her sinuses and relating it to her sinuses. She now found out that that was actually what was happening for her, that her sinus issues were really a migraine attack. And this was triggered by the weather and hormones. There's a lot more to the story. But to keep this video short, I want to tell you, when we started talking about what she was going through, I told her something that I want you to also pay particular attention to. You are not imagining the pain that you're having, and you're not crazy. And your work colleague that is telling you that is stress, or your parents or your siblings are telling you that, oh, it's just stress, or you're just exaggerating, they are wrong for saying that, because it is not stress. Your body is speaking to you. And getting to the root cause, becoming aware of why you're in this much pain, why your body is now in pain, your head in particular is in pain, is the start. Knowing why you're still having this pain will free you. Will free you from the confusion, from the constant pain, from the constant gaslighting yourself and that whole cycle of pain, take medication, pain, take medication, people gaslight you, you gaslight yourself, will stop. Does it feel like your migraine attack just comes out of nowhere? Almost like, those surprise pop quiz that we used to get when we were at school. Many of us hated it. You get this pop quiz you didn't study for. How dare this migraine just show up like that? Is that what is happening for you as well? It comes at the wrongest time ever in life. Like that pop quiz that you thought you were going to have a chill day at school, and then bam. That's how disrespectful the migraine can be, the pain can be. We often think of pain as a bad person, think of pain as the enemy. But let me tell you something. The world of migraine relief, the awareness of what is actually happening, can be your best friend. Understanding what your body is trying to tell you is like checking, in your car, those check lights that pop up. When you understand what your body is trying to tell you when pain comes, it's just like that check lights that pops in your car. That's how it is in your brain. Like the other day, the light came up for my tires. And then that made me know that, okay, something is off with my tires. Understanding what your body is trying to tell you is like that check engine light of your brain. It gives you the time to pull over and fix the problem before the whole car just breaks down. So once I saw that tire light come up, I said, oh dear. And I will go and then find somewhere to put the gas in the tire, the air in the tires. Or I take it to the dealership and say, can you do it for me, please? That is what being aware of your body can do for you. Your body, when you start having this kind of pain and headache pain, it's because there are signs and symptoms that you can get that tells you, oh, something is happening. So now it's like, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to push through it, which is what many of you do? And I say, stop it. This is the time for you to check it out and try to find out what is going on before your whole body now decides to now give up on you. One of the ways I like to describe migraine is like this. Migraine is like having a fire alarm in your brain that has become too sensitive. It rings loudly, even when there is only like a small flitter burnt toast. It's not even that burnt. And then it starts to make noise. That's how migraine can be. Not even a real fire many times with that burnt toast. But then it goes off. And you're wondering, why? I like my toast well done. Awareness helps you to notice the smoke long before the flames of the pain just starts. That's what awareness does. They tend to happen in four phases. So you have the warning, which is the prodrome. You have the aura. You have the headache, which tends to be the pain. And then you have the hangover postdrome phase. Many people experience the warning signs either days or hours before the pain hits. So, for example, of the warning could be you find out that you're yawning a lot. Some people start to have a lot of cravings. They crave certain food, certain products. Some people start to feel very irritated. And sometimes they might even feel much more sensitive to light, and some other people to sound. If you're aware of these warning signs, you can start your relief strategy a lot earlier. The problem is that not many people are aware of these warning signs. They delay taking care of themselves. And so they get to a much more very, very painful phase. They just realize, oh, goodness, when they're in the headache phase. And so many times, the way they do the treatment, it now aggravates it a lot more. Now, think of poor migraine care like you're trying to mop the floor and the roof is still leaking. That's poor migraine care. If you only focus on the pain once it comes or once it becomes severe, so like for example, you're feeling slight headache, just a little bit, it's just, oh, I'll just drink water and it's gonna go. And you push through. If you decide to now look at that pain when it becomes severe, that is just like you mopping, trying to mop the floor. It's still leaking. They're now trying to just mop the floor. Awareness helps you find that leak and you sort it out. When you treat migraine while the pain is still mild, the medication you take works so much better. If you wait, your brain can go through something called central sensitization. Central sensitization is kind of like when your brain becomes, when it's almost like when your nervous system just becomes so jumpy and irritated that when you take a normal medication, like say sumatriptan, for example, the tryptophan might not be able to get to inside your brain. It might not get there quick enough inside your brain to help you. So central sensitization is really when your nervous system is so jumpy and irritated that medication they 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 don't get to do the work as efficient as they were meant to, really. But being aware of the very first signs and symptoms is kind of like a small hammer. You just use a small hammer and it fixes the problem before it becomes something huge that you need a sledgehammer to destroy it later on. Without awareness, many people use the same screwdriver for every single repair. You know how impossible that is? They take the same pill for hormonal headache, for stress headache, for lack of sleep headache, and then they're wondering, why is it not working? So the first thing is you need to keep a diary. A simple diary. You can always use a notebook. Use a notebook and note down, track how you're feeling. Before, when you start noticing something is off, you write that down. Note that down. How was the weather? What was the weather when you start to feel that way? You write down what you did, what you ate, what you drank. There's a reason why I encourage you to do this. I know many people might say sometimes you get anxiety from tracking, but hear me out. We are letting go of the old and we're starting afresh. You're now looking at your headache, your pain, your migraine in a different light. So we're in the awareness phase. So what you write down, you're more strategic in what you're writing down. And I don't want you to be writing it down and feeling like, oh, I might get a migraine. But just write it as you're just journaling and talking about what you're sensing in your body, your head, your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul. Not in a stressed out state. Because when you are in a headache phase, that's a bit too late because you're already far gone. I'm talking about this is before the headache phase. You notice something a bit different. Oh, for some reason this day I found myself, I was yawning a lot. I ate this, I ate that. So you do that. Then the second thing is watch for medication overuse. If you take a rescue med, so one of the acute medication, too often, so more than 2 days a week, first of all, you need to note that down in your journal, and also note down what medication you actually took. Because the thing is, medication overuse can cause headaches. Your body will actually start giving you these rebound headaches when you're taking medication for more than 2 days. There's a chance that it could be causing more headache. And so your headache has graduated, and we don't really want your headache to graduate. So you need to watch out for that. The third thing you need to do is to identify specific flavors. Is your migraine triggered by light, sound, smell, or does it come around your menstrual cycle period, time? Does it come when you've eaten something? Identify your specific flavor because different people react to things differently and it can trigger their migraine. And the most important thing that I want you to track is patterns. In the Bible, I shared with you 2 Bible verses today. In the Bible, Proverbs tells us a lot of good gems. Proverbs tells us that a joyful heart, right, is good medicine. Part of finding that joy is taking ownership for your health and moving from a place where you're in constant fear of an attack to a place where you understand your body system and you have strategies to deal with when you have all this situation coming up for you. You don't have to live in constant dread of the next attack. By becoming the detective of your body, you can support your relief and build habits that leads to stronger and a healthier life. Awareness allows you to treat attacks while they are small, and they help you identify those leaks, the leaks in your lifestyle, so that you can manage your health with wisdom, confidence, and truth. One way that you can find out, become even more aware of what is going on with you, is by taking the assessment that I've put up. It's in the description. So this is the migraine profile assessment. And it is designed to help you to figure out what exactly is going on, to figure out what kind of head pain that you're having, and helping you to go from guessing, you now knowing for sure what's happening, and you know how to treat yourself. So remember, you track using your diary. I encourage you to dedicate 7 days to track everything about you for 7 days. Write in the journal. I encourage you to notice what you eat, what you drink, how you're feeling during the day, after you eat something, when you just track them. Because remember, we want to become aware of our body and aware of the system in our body, especially our nervous system. Emma didn't see success overnight. No, I'm not going to tell you that you will overnight be free. But what I can tell you is that when you start this journey, you stop treating your pain like an afterthought. You know what has gone on, you know what is going on, you know the 4 phases, and you're able to pinpoint what phase you are at. And the danger that many people that don't do this properly, especially they don't do it with support, is that they start to think that every little thing might lead to a headache or a migraine. And that is not what we want. That is not what we want. We want you to live your life like it's golden. No, that's not what we want. No. That's why we encourage you to do this in a supportive phase so that you have someone alongside you. And I invite you to join our community where you with people together, get the right support and plan. Get a plan that works. Emma is now living her life comfortably. She has reduced the migraine attacks don't come that often, reduced that by 60%. She's heading towards having complete remission from it, because that's possible. She's planning her future. And you know what? She's no longer afraid about when the next attack is going to show up, because she now has the right tools and the strategies in place. Imagine if Emma hadn't followed the strategy or acted on any of the things that she realized, or that she didn't even take any step to reach out or anything like that. Imagine. She'll be living month after month, trapped in trial and error. More prescription that would not do anything but just aggravate the whole system. End up having more side effects and more shame. That's not what we want. You're hiding in the bathroom, throwing up in the bathroom, missing work. Your money is being sucked up because of migraine attacks. Can you imagine the cost of being stuck in the continuous cycle? Migraine medication, migraine medication, migraine medication, shame. Migraine medication, migraine medication, migraine medication, shame. That is not a life. My goodness, that is not a life. And that is where many people are, in that confused state that cycle. Let me ask you a question. Here's where I want to leave you with a question. What if the solution to your chronic pain is not the next medication, but rather in learning a new way to think about your health? What if there is a framework, kind of like a way to process your pain and just break free from that whole chaos? In my next video, I will be sharing with you exact framework. I call this the AAA framework, the AAA pathway to relief. And I go deeper in this awareness phase. Here, I talked about it a lot, but in there, I also talk about the awareness phase because this phase is the most important phase. Remember how we read that verse, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. When you don't know what's going on, you're there in the confused express. I'll be revealing to you a powerful mindset shift that I call the gray matter. And that will help you to build that inner strength to stop feeling stuck. I don't want you to miss it.